Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. Today I'm here to talk to you about a 2020 release that I just watched like literally today, and I really enjoyed it. I did not know what to expect from this film, but we're here today to talk about anything for Jackson.
It's coffee time.
This is one of the movies that was on my watch list of movies that I wanted to catch up with from 2020 releases, and this in particular was a Shudder release. We're going to jump into our spoiler-free review of this film. Now, this movie was fairly straightforward, so this is going to be another short movie review. If you guys love movie reviews, horror, and collectibles, and you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the notification bell before you leave. Anything for Jackson was released on Shudder in 2020, and it was directed by Justin G. Dick. It stars Shayla McCarthy and Julian Richings in the main roles. A demonic story and a grieving grandparent's desperate decision that caused all hell to break loose when they end up summoning way more than they bargained for. At the beginning of our film, we meet these really odd, quirky kind of couple. They are an old couple and we see them talking in their kitchen, and we jump straight to the action. We see them in the very first scene of this film, how they drag into their home a kidnapped pregnant woman, and you're like, I think I'm gonna like this film. I absolutely love that we start with a lot of dark humor as well. And I am a big fan of Julian Richings that plays Henry in this film. I've always loved him and he was just fantastic in this film. So when I watched this film, I was curious to see what else the director had done, and I went on IMDb to check it out, and all his previous movies where he directed or was involved in were romantic comedies, Christmas movies, and I'm like, what is happening? So I guess I know where his comedy part comes from, and I absolutely love that he went straight to this movie, that it is nothing like all his other ones for television, and he gave us such a good horror movie like on his first try. For me, part of why the comedy worked in this movie is that they used something that I love to see in movies, which is to take characters that are doing really messed up, disturbing things, and they just talk about it and handle it as it's just another chore, something super normal, like just running another errand. There's something about that that just makes me laugh. We have this perfect old adorable couple that seem heartless, but then they're talking about things that are really grim, and they're doing these things that we know are wrong, and I just love it. I also love the way that they interacted with each other and the chemistry on camera. It was just excellent. The plot of this movie is very straightforward, like I've mentioned, and there is not too much to the plot itself. If you read the synopsis, you already know what this movie is about. We have this old couple that want to put their deceased grandson's soul into the unborn child of this pregnant woman, and they want to do like a ritual and perform the deed, but then something happens and they released something else that was not really intended, some sort of evil that is going to hunt them. Another thing that I absolutely loved about this movie is the wide variety of horror that it offers. We have things from different genres, and we also get from the very beginning really creepy images, disturbing sounds, and we have like moments where we are allowed to relax, but then boom, the next moment comes where we are living something really terrifying. The soundtrack of this movie was just fantastic. Apart from the heavy metal songs that we get to hear here and there, that of course for me were plus points, the atmosphere of this movie is achieved in a big part thanks to the soundtrack. Now, they're using it in a very intelligent way. They're using it to kind of set up the scene, but they are not using soundtrack to give you jump scares. For example, there's not really jump scares in this movie. There are just moments of shock. There's just moments where you know something creepy is coming and you just don't want to watch, and that is why this movie worked so well. There is even a moment where my jaw like literally dropped because something happened and I did not expect that. I did not see that coming at all, and I was like, okay. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that the horror is not only unexpected, but also they're offering us really disturbing, messed up images, and a lot of people have compared some of these visuals with Clive Barker, and I totally understand why. If I would have to criticize something, it would be that after the great pacing from the beginning, towards the end, the pacing starts to be a little bit off, and there's a lot of moments where the movie can drag a little bit and become a little bit boring because we've been spoiled with so much good stuff at the beginning. But still, the movie offered great acting. It had a straightforward concept, but it was a good, solid plot, and it had a couple of nice twists. Now, even though I mentioned at the beginning that this movie has dark humor, don't get confused. This is not a comedy, and the images that you're going to see are going to haunt you because those are the things of nightmares. Now, I'm not gonna spoil any of the things that they see because I think it's better if you just experience it for yourself, but I will let you know that there is something involving teeth, and it made me really nervous. If you don't know, guys, teeth is the only thing I just cannot deal with in horror movies, and there was a part here that involves teeth and I was like, nope. Nope, no, 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 no. So if you watch the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about, but I think it's going to haunt me for a long time. This movie takes place mostly in the same house and mostly in the same room, the bedroom where the pregnant woman is. But they did such an amazing job of not letting that get the movie boring, because they used a lot of different angles in the room, in the house, and also from time to time they would give us like just a couple of seconds of an image outside of the house, just through the window, or just somebody that was calling them. So that kept it kind of the dynamic going, and the movie, even though most of it is based on the same house and a lot of it on the same room, it was not boring at all. It still was an entertaining film. In the end, I gave this movie 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was really entertaining, but it was not a movie that was groundbreaking. However, they did such a good job when it comes to the horror, to make this movie creepy, to make this movie horrifying, and to bring you horror without using jump scares, which is something that I always appreciate. In the year 2020, we got many movies that were really out there when it comes to the representation of mental health, when it comes to doing something unique and different and giving us horror with social commentary. We had Invisible Man, we had His House, we had The Platform, and all of these ones. And I believe that Anything for Jackson is just there to have a nice, fun, old school kind of horror. It's just a very straightforward plot with good acting, good scares, and with some fun moments, and that's it. That's what the movie is about, and it doesn't pretend to be anything else that it's not. And what it has to deliver, which is the horror, it does deliver that to you. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this spoiler-free review of the film. Let me know down below if you have already watched it and what you thought about the film. Let's talk about it down below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support, and I hope to see you all guys in the next coffee time. Bye! Are my neighbors just all leaving my apartments right now just to piss me off, or I don't know, did they talk to each other? We'll never know.